Hello, good evening, this is Diecast Luna. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Vintage Matchbox Mondays. And as mentioned in last week's episode, I said this week I would do something on vintage Matchbox rolamatics. And that's exactly what I'm going to be showing. Some of my rolamatics collection. I've got about, I'm just looking now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 pieces to show. I've grabbed all the pieces that are to hand rather than going through all the archives and my boxes. I've got, like I said before, I've got a good, I'm not sure, 40, maybe 50 rolamatics in my collection. A lot of them are doubles, some are in better condition than others, some are variations. But anyway, I've just picked the ones that are to hand. And there's some cool pieces, the ones I have picked. Some have been seen before, but that's no problem as we are looking at the rolamatics, and that's what we're going to be doing. So anyway, less of the chat, more of the show. So, rolamatics. Showed this last week. Just move a few cars about. This is one of my favourite rolamatics that they did. So this is obviously the piston popper. And as I said like last week, this was in great condition for what I paid for it. Got a little bit of wear. But I ain't going to dwell on this casting for too long. I just thought I'd show it just because it is one of my favourite rolamatics that they did. As I said, you can see the little pistons popping up and down. Now the rolamatic cars, they started, as far as I'm aware of, from about 1973 and went on to about I want to say 85 in some parts, but I know they did go on for longer, because when I looked up about rolamatics once before, it said they finished by 83, but I know that can't be possible. They did, I think, as far as the Tyco years, which was about 90, I've got to try and think now. I think Tyco was from about 92 up to about 97, possibly. So they didn't have it for very long, but I know in the Tyco years they did do rolamatics. I've actually got a rolamatics from the Tyco years to show. But anyway, they were quite problematic. There was problems with them back in the day. The little plastic pegs here would snap off. And they never rolled all that smoothly because of the mechanisms that they had. They were very clever the way they worked, quite simple, excuse me, but quite clever at the same time. But they were quite problematic. And even though they shared the same wheels as the Matchbox Superfast vehicles, they never actually shared the same name. As I said last week, they were classed as Matchbox rolamatics Superfast, or vice versa, but they actually weren't. Even though they shared the same wheels as the Superfast, they actually weren't. So I'm just trying to show the base here. As you can see, Matchbox rolamatics. So it doesn't say anywhere that they were Superfast. So that was a lot of the problem, I think, with them that people had. They would think they would roll like the Superfast, and they didn't. And as you can see, this one is actually not rolling, it's sliding. But they were designed to push along the floor and for obviously an action to happen. So anyway, so I just wanted to show that again. So that's a little bit about rolamatics. So let's start showing some of the ones from my collection. I'm just going to pick them up to hand. So this one, which is, give me a little look underneath if I can. It's only 2. It is obviously Matchbox rolamatics. And it says, which I can't see because of the light, so just bear with me. Where are we to? 2 seconds. I have to do this off camera because I can't see it. I think it says Police Patrol. But obviously this is based on the Range Rover, and this is the Paris Dakar. So it just says Security Rally, Rallis Paris Dakar. I also have this variation as well. I have the same one in white. I have the earlier version in white. This is the later version. It might say Lesney on the bottom, or it might not. There you go, made in England. But this was literally on the cusp, excuse me, when Matchbox was switched over to Universal Toys. But like I said, I do have this in white. And obviously this is in like a, well, I suppose just like a beige colour. But if you, there you go, turn the wheels round, it's going to work. And the siren should, there you go, turn around. So pretty cool. Very strong, heavy castings. But like I said, they were... Now that one seems to be rolling pretty well. But they were pretty problematic. Like I said, I can remember from being a kid myself, you would roll them, and if they would roll, maybe the mechanism wouldn't work. Or if the mechanism did work, they wouldn't roll. Sorry about that, my son popped in quickly to ask me a question. So yeah, but anyway, that is the Range Rover, and again, that is, these chips are basically from being stored in the original box. I was the first person to open this piece, and it came out like that. And a lot of the time, they did have frosted glass, so you obviously couldn't see the mechanism. But I'm not sure how many variations they did of this, but like I said, I've got 2 of the variations, but I thought I'd show this one because it was to hand. So that is a Range Rover. The next piece, again, this has been shown excuse me, a few times before in the past, but any excuse to show it, is the Maxi Taxi, and this is a great example. And again, I have another variation of this. This was based, or it is exactly the same as the Hot Rocker from back in the early 70s. And then the Maxi Taxi was just obviously a different livery. The Hot Rocker originally, I believe, was possibly was red, then it was green. I think the red one was the first one, then the green was the other variation. I actually have the green variation, and this one, I believe, again, was on the turnover. This one should say Macau on the bottom. If we look, there you go, it says Lesney Products. But there you go, there you go. So it is actually, again, on that cusp of turning over. And you can see that the wheels on the back have the little plastic lugs, but not that they're needed because it's the front. Now these didn't roll too bad. These ones would roll pretty well, but the idea is obviously the engines leap up and down. But it is a great piece, and like I said, any excuse to show it. So that is the Maxi Taxi based on the Hot Rocker. Next piece is probably one of my favourite pieces of my collection, and obviously it is a rolamatics, and again I have shown this before, but as you can see, number 57, the wildlife truck rolamatics. And I had one of these obviously as a child and loved it to death, and then was very lucky to find one in this condition. It has about, I think it's got one slight chip, but the paper sticker is clear and crisp. It does have its original canopy. There were other variations. I think there was a light canopy, there was a dark canopy, there was also the other excuse me, variation, which was in like a zebra pattern, or white and black, whichever way you want to call it. But this is the darker, I think it's the darker version. Just trying to think. Let me just look off camera. Yeah, I think this is the darker canopy, but it is obviously based on a Ford F100. And there is the slight chip, but that is a factory defect. And there you go, spin the back wheels, and the lion goes round. And like I said, as a kid, I was fascinated by this truck. And obviously you can pull off the canopy, you can pull off the lion, and you can make out that it is obviously a normal pickup truck. But a lot of the times you do see these a lot in car boot sales, beaten to absolute death, and you do obviously see them in good condition, but it's rare to find them with all of its back and the lion to go with it. And like I said, these are fetching reasonable money online now. Like I said, if you go on eBay in the condition mine's in, you're looking at paying £35. But like I said, I got this for a good deal. I can't remember how much I paid for it now, but I've had it a while. But it is one of my favourite pieces, and there you go. If we can get a bit, there we go. Obviously, Matchbox rolamatics, number 57, wildlife truck. Awesome. So that is that. So just move that to one side. Let's show the difference maybe in the new to the old. So let's find it. Where is it to? So here is number 73, Weasel, and I think I paid £5 for this. I bought two. Let's put the camera up a little bit. And the packaging was quite crinkly and bashed about. I don't think the person really knew what it was. It wasn't specifically worth a great deal, as some of these, they're quite reasonable to buy. You can find these in mint condition cards for about 15 to 20 pounds. But I have opened this, and the reason I've kept it in its packaging is just, I'm not really a carded collector. Sometimes I do keep things, or keep the packaging as I drop it, just so you can see what it was like. So obviously that was what the original packaging was like on a lot of them. And then obviously you can see, so there would be the hot rocker, there's the piston popper, wildlife truck, and I have that one, but I don't have that one. But it's pretty cool. So 74 copyright. Like I said, packaging doesn't really bother me. I just kept these ones in the packaging just so I've got something to show what it was once like. Anyway, going off a little bit. So this is number 73, the Weasel, and obviously one of these wheels, there you go, as you push it along, so the turret will move, but in fantastic condition. Obviously there is the underneath if my camera behaves itself. Let's push it down a little bit. So that is that, and now here is the newer version. So this is from a more modern 5-pack, military 5-pack, which I have shown before previously, and it's actually a very nice 5-pack because all the castings in that 5-pack are what look like to be Lesney castings that Tyco sort of, you know, brought back out again when they obviously took over. So this, I should imagine, I'm not sure, I'm just going to look on the packet, see if I can see a copyright date when it came out. Bear with me, 94. So this was 94 and this was reissued, but it is made just as well as the original version, and it's like I was saying earlier, it shows that the rolamatics did go on, there you go, for quite a while. I'm just trying to get some extra zoom because it's the colour making it problematic. There you go, it just says Weasel and the original copyright date. So obviously if you compare it to this one, there's quite a bit more going on. I don't think they call it a rolamatics on this one, but I think pretty much after this, that was pretty much the finish. I think they did try and bring it out for a while. So like I said, if you look online, the information is quite varied, and it does say that it was only continued to about sort of 82 to 80, sort of 82, 85, but they obviously did carry it on. They did try. And this one rolls quite nice, but it does every now and again do a slight handbrake slide when the turret engages. You can see the mechanism there, rattling around. So anyway, so that is the new store. Same castings, and obviously some years apart. Even the same wheel type. So very cool. And it's a pity really that Matchbox, well I think they did do it for a while, the newer Matchbox, I think from the Mattel, they have recreated some of the old cars, but this really does feel just as good as the old piece, really, just a different livery. So that is number 73, the Weasel, and obviously its modern counterpart from a Tyco military 5-pack set. So there you go, I'm just going to show you so you can see it's Tyco years, and there's some of the other cars which I will show at another time. Next up, because we're talking about the Weasel, we might as well look at number 28, Scout. Is it Scout? Or is it Stoat? No, that's the Stoat, which is here. And again, I've done the same thing with this one. Just kept it just so I can show if I can get it out, what it's like. So this is basically a scout car. Just a little look on the box of it, so it's 2 seconds, maybe 2. So just 2 seconds. Sorry, my young son wanted me again. So yeah, so this is the Stoat, basically a scout car, and as you can see, turn the back wheels and the man with the binoculars get to behave itself. Turns round. And again, got this for the same price as the Weasel from the exact same place. And again, nice weighty solid piece. And I'm not the biggest military car collector, but I just like the rolamatics. So there you go, 73 copyright. So there you go, you've got the matching pair, or from the same series, and they did quite a few in this colour. So because it's to hand, I will show, as I don't have, or do I have an example? Now this I can't remember if I have an example of it or not. I'm going to check in a minute if I do, but this is the Badger, and it's seen better days, but it's not in too bad a condition. Again, it's not, the wheels aren't bad. It's just been, when it was at the car boot sale, a lot of the time they just chuck them back in the boxes when you see these ones. So they do chip easy because of the era they're from. But this is the Badger. I wanted to just show it because it's the same as the one that is there. But I think I've got the green Badger somewhere, which was from the same series as this, which I'm going to have a quick look for, just because I think it is in the drawer below me. But as you see, as you turn it, so does the radar. Goes round, but as you can see, sometimes it will turn, sometimes it won't. Let me just see if that other car is to hand. Yes, I do have it. Just going to get some of the dust off. It's been sat in a drawer down below this cupboard. I forgot I had it because there's stuff above it. But this is in a lot better condition, apart from the dust. I'm just seeing if the actual thing turns around or not. There you go. So this is the green version. I think this might be slightly later. I think this was the first version, possibly, but don't hold me to it. So very cool, and that obviously will now go quite nicely with the other two. And then the last piece that I'm going to show, I'm just looking around to see the last piece, is, let me just have a little look underneath what it's called. I believe the SP gun. And I got this one at the same time as I got this one, and I got them both from the same, believe it or not, I can't remember if it was the car boot sale or if it was the, let me try and think, it was either a car boot sale or a second-hand shop, I can't remember now. But when I picked this up, I was not only quite blown away the fact it was in such good condition, the fact it still had its original tracks and they aren't falling to pieces. They are quite stiff. That's what happens. They get brittle with age. They don't last very long. They basically dry out, crack and fall off, but they do still function. As you can see, the gun is moving. The gun, when you'd push it across the carpet, would go up backwards and forwards as if it was firing. But like I said, I didn't pay a lot for this, as I didn't pay a lot for the Badger. And like I said, to still see it with the tyres is a bit unique. Matter of fact, not all that long ago, I did come across one of these boxed, mint condition, unopened. Actual fact, I have the other one to hand, not the other SP gun, unfortunately. But I do have what I bought at the same time. So I bought this field gun, and I had, obviously it's boxed, and I had an SP gun boxed as well. And I kept this because obviously I had an SP gun that was opened, and I gave away in a giveaway the SP gun as a prize, and unfortunately it never made it to the recipient, very annoyingly, because they would have loved it, being the fact that they're a big Matchbox enthusiast themselves, and it would have been nice for them to have had one of these in mint condition. But unfortunately, it didn't get there. And whether it's probably my fault, it probably pay next time to. This is a bit of a lesson to me. Sometimes you should have your post tracked. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. That's what happens. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more Vintage Matchbox Mondays episodes. I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week. I'll have to think of something. Maybe I'll show something different. I'm going to pop back to my favourite little die-cast vintage shop and find something to pick up for next week's episode. But as I've said before, I've enjoyed sharing the rolamatics. I don't think they get enough love. But anyway, oh, one more there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care.